Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's review, we are going to be taking a look at the Thought Space Pathfinder. For the majority of players, the Pathfinder is going to be a very straight to semi-overstable mid-range, particularly depending on the plastic that you choose. Let's start with the profile and feel of the Pathfinder, and if I had one word to describe how it felt, wow! This feels amazing. Slight amount of dome, and every edge is rounded, meaning this disc is not going to cut into your hand. If I was teaming up with a manufacturer to create a mid-range, the feel of the Pathfinder is what I would be going for. Now when it comes to the different plastic types, particularly the Ethos and the Aura, the Ethos feels like it's kind of a wider diameter, more like the weight is more evenly distributed, while the Aura, it feels more compact, like a lot of that weight is in the rim. So I just found that to be kind of an interesting notation. Alright, so enough about its amazing feel, because I could go on with that for a long time. How does the Pathfinder fly? And as you're seeing with this flat shot, that is what most players will come to expect out of the Pathfinder. A very straight flight with just a little bit of hyzer towards the very end. If I had to compare the flight to discs from other manufacturers, I'd say it closely resembles perhaps like say an EMAC Truth from Dynamic Discs, or a Buzz SS from Discraft, or like a DGA Rift. Discs that just when thrown flat, you'll get very straight flights with minimal fade, but they're also very workable. So if you put them on anhyzer lines, you're going to get these big kind of sweeping turnovers that are going to level themselves out towards the very end of the flight, and depending how much height you give it, it is going to try to fight back. But if you do toss them low on anhyzer shots, they're gonna hold that turn all the way to the ground. And that's exactly what the Pathfinder is. If you keep it on a hyzer line, you might get the slightest flip up to flat, but it's gonna then ride straight, have a predictable finish, even into mild winds. And when thrown flat, it is just gonna go very straight. Maybe if you're a very fast arm, you'll get a little bit of a gentle turn, but then you'll always get a nice little baby hyzer finish. It's also worth noting that almost no matter what plastic type you're using, the Pathfinder has very good amount of glide. So if you have a lot of open space where you can really get some air under it, you can get great distance out of this mid-range. However, it is worth noting as well that the Pathfinder does not hold up very well in the wind unless you're using specific plastics, say like the Glow. In most of the other plastic types, they can work in mild winds, but if you're going up against a stiff headwind, I would not really be reaching too much for the Pathfinder unless I had a Glow version in my bag. Alright, so now we've seen what the Pathfinder is going to do out in the open field. But how is it going to work on the course? Well, let's go ahead and throw it on some actual disc golf shots. First, this hole you have a very clear gap on the left-hand side here, baskets tucked on the right, which sets up perfectly for the Ethos Plastic Pathfinder, because it's just going to be extremely straight and then just have to give it a little bit of height in order to get it to have that really nice predictable finish. So this next shot sets up great for a gentle flex shot. You have the danger right off the tee pad to the right, and then also a late tree on the left. With the Pathfinder, just want to start it flat to maybe a slight anhyzer line to match the shape of the fairway, and again just give it a little bit of height and let the Pathfinder then hyzer back in towards the basket. Now, for a lefty, this is just a stock shot. You have the basket hidden behind this group of trees, bush, and then one single tree just in the middle of the fairway. This, again, is a simple hyzer shot. Throw it flat, ride out straight, up over the tree with a little bit of height, and then just dunk it into the basket. Well, for me, it goes over the basket. For you, it actually dunk in. Now, when it comes to forehand, we saw the Pathfinder doesn't have the best torque resistance. That actually pairs up really well with a shot like this, where you need the Pathfinder to kind of hold a turnover line. Just put it on a slight hyzer, and it is going to make short work of these touch anhyzer forehand approach shots. So the Pathfinder does come in a good variety of plastics, and luckily I've been able to test out quite a few of them. Most notably, the only one I wasn't able to test out was the Nebula. And with the Pathfinder coming out in a variety of different plastic types, that means that you're going to be able to find the one that works for you. For example, if you're looking for a Pathfinder that's going to fight the wind, it's going to be more torque resistant and have a much harsher finish, you want to go and pick up the Glow. These things fly considerably more torque resistant and more overstable than, say, the Ethos as we've been seeing throughout this video. So maybe if you do want a four-handing version of the Pathfinder, that's the one you want. Now, Ethereal kind of blends both Glow and Ethos. It's more workable in the early and mid-flight like Ethos, but it has a harsher finish like the Glow. And then with the Aura, this is just kind of almost more the straighter. Again, workable early in the flight, but it has a much more forward penetrating finish. Not as harsh of a dump as any of the other plastics. It just likes to keep pushing forward as it slows down. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 4 different plastic types side by side. First, starting with the Ethos. And as you can see, rides out straight, gets a small amount of turn in that mid-flight before having a nice predictable hyzer finish. The Ethereal, a little bit more workable in that mid-flight, but it has almost a harsher finish. When it slows down, it just likes to fade. Unlike the Aura, this shot may not have been the best to kind of showcase, but it actually does like to push forward more. It doesn't like just to dump like, say, the Ethereal or the Glow. It does like to try to push itself forward, especially if you can keep it on a flat shot and not thrown on a hyzer. And then as you can see with the Glow, it has the most torque resistance by far. It really resists torque very well. So if you are a faster arm and you want just a really straight flying disc where you don't want too much movement, then you want to pick up the Glow. And with that extra resistance to torque, it also handles forehands a lot better. So unlike the Ethos that's going to hold more of a turnover even when thrown on a baby hyzer, with the Glow, that is just going to hold really straight and then still that predictable finish. So wind forehand, faster arm, go with the Glow. For just kind of the good all around, that's going to be the Ethos. Kind of the good in the middle is the Ethereal, depending on what kind of shot shape you're wanting. And then the Aura is probably going to be the better one when it comes to just hitting straight tunnel shots. Well, everyone, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that you like this video as much as I liked throwing the Pathfinder. So if you did, be sure smash that like button, and if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. I'll also be doing a giveaway once we get to 7,500 subscribers. More details on that to come. And if you want to try out the Pathfinder for yourself and see why I like it so much, go visit GreatLakesDisc.com. Use that promo code LEFTY at checkout to save 10%. Your wallet will appreciate it. I'll appreciate it. Thank you all so much for the support. And until next time, keep banging them chains.